You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Chrissy, and joining me is not my co-host Thad, since he's been sent to the Dove for some mandatory vacation. But while he's gone, we are going to have a De Clerck family takeover. So joining me today is a voice that you have heard here on BQN, Jason Szilagyi, a De Clerck by marriage.
Hello.
And then my sister, the other born De Clerck on this episode, and that's Nickie.
Hi.
And then her soon-to-be De Clerck by marriage, Dom.
Hello.
Hello. All right. Thank you guys for joining us today. I really wanted to do this I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I also wanted to do it when we didn't have one of the other co-hosts on, because I felt like it would just be family glomming on to somebody who didn't know what was going on. So, yeah. Listeners, I hope you will indulge us in this little bit of family fun here. But before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make this show possible, particularly our associate producers, Carl Wonders and Justin Oser. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10 at patreon.com/BQN. And with a monthly subscription of just $5 or more, you can join our meetings of the Hive Mind on the second Saturday of each month. Watch your Patreon messages for details. All right, so whenever we have new people on, we try to remember to get their Star Trek stories, their, as it's often called, their first contact and such, and how they became a Trek fan and how it's continued. We're going to start with Dom here, because Nickie and I are going to have to tell hers together. So.
You guys have a much longer one, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. Dom, tell us your Star Trek story.
My Star Trek story starts probably with, I'm in line with a lot of people growing up. You're introduced to it by your parents, notably my dad. Growing up in the 90s, it would be constant Star Trek on through Next Gen or the original series. I remember, I think my first memory of like truly Star Trek was when my dad got a brand new stereo system in the house, and the very first thing that we watched with this new stereo system, full surround sound, was First Contact, and it was incredible.
Nice.
Yep. So I have my dad to thank. Thanks, Dad, if you're listening.
Right. Yay. All right. That's always... It's nice when it's family. All right. Well, Nickie, I'll start yours. Because it was before you were born. Excuse me. Okay, so Nickie's Star Trek story, I'm going to start it. Of course, I was super Trekkie before she was even imagined. Listeners know about that. But, and I think I have told this story before on the podcast, but yeah, here it is again. The Undiscovered Country came out 6 days before Nickie was born. I, being my 9-year-old self, who had no comprehension of what my mother was dealing with, being a week away from giving birth, insisted on going on opening weekend, which my mom obliged, and I don't even know what to say about that she actually did that, other than thank you. But, and then, if I remember correctly, she basically slept through the movie because, again, week before having a baby. Yeah, but I was super excited. And then I had gotten the novelization of Undiscovered Country and all the special magazines for the 25th anniversary and the making of magazine. And so while Nickie was being born, okay, that's what I was reading. And it was extra fun because, again, listeners, you've heard me say that I have no concept of what is and isn't appropriate for children, because the family has always been very open about life and things that go on in life. And so I was in the delivery room, but again, being 9 years old and not really understanding, understanding the basics, but not having the larger comprehension of it. I spent most of the time with the Star Trek VI Special Edition, Here's How We Made It magazine, like over my face. Not really reading it, just not like going, oh my God, this is terrible.
Block everything
I'm
out.
never having children. Yes. But that's okay, it's that is real life, so that was okay. So then, I just exposed you to Star Trek constantly from birth, and then I'll let you pick up from there.
You didn't have a
yeah,
choice.
Literally.
Yeah, it was just giving birth and then, just showing me the magazine as I'm coming out, like, there you go.
Yeah.
It was the first thing
Thankfully,
I saw.
I wasn't at that angle, thankfully. Sorry, repeat what you said.
It was the first thing I saw. Also, Undiscovered Country is probably my favorite Star Trek movie. I don't know if it's related.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You heard it.
I had my ear pressed up against the inside of my mother's womb at the movie theater. So, I don't remember much from Chrissy's story, but
no, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I guess one of the first things that I can kind of recall was as a toddler being tested on. Chrissy, for some science project, tried to do like a Pavlov's dog response with me. So I'd be in the other room. She'd turn on a Next Gen VHS, and if I heard the intro, I would say Star Trek. And I can't remember how successful that was, but I don't know. And then I just remember like perpetually having like at least one or two of the action figures mixed in with my toys, that they were always like somehow included. I remember having a Data. His head popped off at one point, and also eventually having a Dax.
Yes.
And also the original Playmobil Next Generation set, which I think a couple pieces from that ended up on not your guys' wedding cake, but the wreath.
Oh yeah, the wreath that Mom made. That's right.
Wedding.
I forgot she snagged those from there. Yeah. Those are on my worship.
So it's just always been perpetually, a part of my life. DS9 is a warm blanket to wrap myself in, and it's kind of like the crackling fireplace. Like, we don't have a fireplace in the house. We have Star Trek.
I like that.
It's our warm hearth.
It's our warm hearth. There you go.
Mm-hmm. As it should be. I can say that the science experiment was neither successful or unsuccessful because I did it all in one day. I was supposed to have done it over weeks at a time, a proper Pavlovian experiment. But I did it all in one day, and I just told you, I'm like, okay, I had an old camcorder, like big old tape, camcorder. And so the first times I was just like, okay, so I want you to just sit there and not say anything and maybe look at me kind of like, what are you talking about? And then a little later I recorded again and I was like, okay, now I want you to get super excited and say Star Trek, Star Trek, Star Trek. And you did. And I don't even, I was going to say, I'm sure I got the points on the assignment.
Hope so.
I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember the trauma of having been caught out that I did it all incorrectly. So how about that? I'm going to assume that I either the teacher decided to ignore the that part of it, or she was convinced.
Yeah. Let's go with the latter.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It was weird. Everybody had to do that in the class with something.
The Pavlov's response?
Yeah. Everybody had to do, like, they had to do Pavlovian response with their family about
That
something.
is
Looking back on it,
weirdly
that's actually pretty
manipulative.
creepy.
Yes. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you went to a Catholic school,
Yeah.
so on brand.
Probably the least manipulative thing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Can I get everyone to make the sign of the cross whenever I say amen, no matter what? Amen.
Anyway. Trip down memory lane. All right. The other thing about your Star Trek story that I love is when we all went to go see the 2009 movie, and you were very concerned about what was going to happen in the story for the rest of forever.
I was really, really concerned about that, and I don't know why.
Yes. It was so sweet, because you sat down on the steps at the movie theater and you went, what's going to happen at Picard now? And I was like, I don't know, don't worry about it.
Yeah, because I hadn't, I did not, I don't know, have a solid concept of multiverses at that time. And I was like, in my brain it was just like, it was a reboot and it was all part of the same timeline, or it was a reboot of the same timeline, not something different, when it was very much, I guess I just fell asleep during that part of the movie when Spock came in from the original, from the Prime universe. I don't know.
I just thought it was fun. It was also funny because the local newspaper showed up expecting to see a lot of people in costume and stuff, and nobody was, but we were the only people wearing Star Trek shirts.
Yeah, we went opening night.
They ended up talking to us.
Yeah, we went opening night probably after work at the bookstore.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Yeah, I remember. I probably have that newspaper somewhere of us, and nobody.
I'm sure Mom does.
Yeah, we ended up on the front page. Was it the front page, or was it entertainment?
It was the front of the entertainment section. Yeah. Jay remembers that. Jay was there for that.
There for that. Yeah.
Definitely was there for that.
Yes.
I was not looking at the camera when the person took the picture, so I looked like I was spaced out. I'm like, perfect for Star Trek. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was staring at my popcorn. I couldn't help it.
It's good popcorn. All right. Well, okay. Now, listeners, that you have all of this information you never asked for, let's talk Lower Decks.
Lower decks.
Yeah. Did you guys see the Star Trek Day, Tawny Newsome, when they did the Lower Decks panel? They didn't even have to start the chant. And it was so funny.
Good.
Yeah. It's a thing now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The cast walked out on stage and it was just like, oh, okay, cool, we're doing this now. And then I had this thought for all of them for a moment. I'm like, they're never going to be able to walk in anywhere for the rest of their lives without hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay.
There could be worse things.
That's true.
There's definite worse things.
And they own it. They love it.
Yeah. Oh, they do. That's one of the things I love about Lower Decks is they're all fans.
They're all fans.
They're all... Yeah. They all grew up on it like we did. And it's just wonderful. All right, so we watched Room for Growth this week. I thought it was a pretty fun episode. I'm going to start with Dom here. Initial thoughts, first impressions of the episode, and Lower Decks in general, if you want.
Loved it. Of course, I love Lower Decks. It's a phenomenal show. I always have fun with it. Every episode is a new adventure and always gets us laughing from the bowels of the belly. And it was a really fun episode. I was looking for a third story, I guess. In the traditional concept of Trek, there's the A, B, and C. And I think it just focused on the A and B this time around, but fully enjoyed the episode and what it brought. I find myself constantly looking for Easter eggs when I watch Lower Decks now. And I don't know if that enhances the experience or if that takes away from the genuine experience that they're trying to portray, but I love it. I have a very fun time watching it with Nickie especially.
And he has no choice but to seek out those Easter eggs because I will constantly be pausing it.
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
A 24-minute episode turns into an hour and a half for us. Most
That's
of the
all
time.
right.
Yeah.
Listeners are familiar with that from when we took Children of Mars and ended up talking for 2 hours about a 13-minute short trek, so totally get that. All right, Nickie, what about you? Initial thoughts, first impressions?
I liked it a lot. I thought, and we can dig into this later, everything going on, Captain Freeman's projection on everyone was really
Yes.
interesting. And I don't know. It's not I don't think it's the strongest episode we've seen, even in this season.
Yeah.
But it was still very good. We got a lot of like individual character development, just and like bonding with the the other lower deckers too. So.
Mm-hmm. Or so they thought.
Well, yeah, an attempt was made. Yeah.
Yes. All right, Jay, what do you think about this week's episode?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny to just the way they played out each of the characters, especially when it came to the idea of having their own quarters. Like, we'll get into it a little bit, but how it never occurred to them that maybe, instead of just one person per quarter, they could split it between all of them.
All right. Well, yeah, I enjoyed it a great deal as well. I think you're right. It's not the strongest, but it wasn't bad.
Not at all.
By any means. It was just it was average Trek, and it was good.
Yeah.
For that reason.
I would say like most Lower Decks is better than average Trek, and like this is still it's still up there. Like I'm not.
That's a good point.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Shitting on this episode, I should say.
Yeah. That works. Yes. No. By no means. All right. Well, we start out with the knockoff masks opening, which I just personally adored because I love masks, even though a lot of people think that it's bad. I think it's fantastic. Maybe it's the historian in me. I don't know. But yeah, that, talking about looking for Easter eggs.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I'm so curious, like, what is it like for people watching Lower Decks who haven't seen any Star Trek at all? Like, if they've just seen Lower Decks, they know that, like, oh, the weird anomalies happen on this ship all the time, and they've got this library of, the Federation has this library of sentient artificial intelligences and, like, all this crazy stuff. But, like, what is it like for someone who just hasn't seen Masks to watch that intro? I'm curious. I'm always curious, and, like, I'm begging my friends, please watch it, so I can selfishly get that perspective.
Yeah.
But
yeah. No, I love that. I have heard, I think, just one person, God, and I can't remember where, it might have been at Chicago, with somebody talking about how they introduced one of their kids to Star Trek via Lower Decks. I say kid, probably teenager. But yeah, I don't know of a lot of people watching Lower Decks that aren't at least familiar with Next Gen, particularly. So,
if there's anybody out there, talk to me, because I'm curious.
Definitely, yes. I doubt anybody listening to this has only seen Lower Decks, because going from Lower Decks to Trek podcasts is kind of a jump.
That is it, yeah.
Maybe they know somebody.
Maybe, yeah.
All right. So that sets up the whole issue of the quarters, because they're stuck in the hallway when who was it, Minuki instead of Misaka? Minuki comes in and changes everything.
It's funny because you have the first officer, you have the security officer chasing Captain Freeman down, and even though there's a bit of panic with the lower deckers, they're just like, this happened again. And it's just like, okay, how many times does this happen on how many different ships in the fleet? That they know that this, if they just go through the whole cycle of this thing, that it'll eventually be over.
It certainly happens in the Cerritos enough for them to be used to it.
Yes. It's just kind of like, oh, this again.
Yeah.
At least one other time.
Right.
That's the impression I got anyway. So.
Yeah.
But yeah. And poor Boimler's violin. He just tuned it.
Was that a reference to something?
The violin itself goes back to season 1. There was that cold open where he was doing the music, and then Mariner and I think Tendi shoved him away.
And had the rock
doing
concert.
the heavy metal and
Yes.
Yeah. So now they're referencing themselves. They've been around long enough to reference themselves. That's kind of
Quite funny.
That's kind of mind blowing. Yeah. I saw on Twitter somebody posted that Goopy, the thing that Tendi had in the beaker, is either the thing or a piece of the thing that ate her in the Spy Humongous, but I didn't see that in any of the reviews that I read. Admittedly, did not read all of the reviews, but so now I don't know if where I saw that on Twitter was somebody actually saying that, or if it was speculation. So,
what was that?
But if it is, I thought that was pretty cool.
Spy Humongous?
Humongous. Was that orange thing that Boimler had to make it laugh to get her back to herself?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally see her just, like, taking a specimen from it. Like, the science officer that she
definitely.
is. To me, it looked like, I made a gelatinous peep. Like one of the marshmallow peeps. Also, at one point, I think it had, like, a little pom-pom on a string in the beaker. So I don't know if that was, like, a little toy for it, but...
I didn't see that. I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's just very Tendi if she took a piece of that and just was like, "Yep,
we
must study this." Long as she doesn't make it into another The Dog.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So, right. So that leads us into the engineers being completely and utterly overwhelmed, and I loved what they did with the drawing here, because they all their eyes were just, heavy and droopy, and they were all they all had this like blue tinge that you feel like should have been from the warp core, but then they still had it when they weren't in engineering. Let's see. We'll start with Jay this time. What do you think about how the engineers were dealing with the situation?
I thought it was pretty funny the way they were dealing with it. Again, it was one of those instances of, another thing that we have to fix. But having to go through and literally rework the ship, every part of the ship that Captain Freeman had been on that transformed. And even though they're stressed out, they're still doing it. And it cracks me up, because it really is one of those things where it's like the engineer's job is literally never done. And there's no rest, because when they're talking about how many hours they've been working at this, and, one more job, I see.
Mm-hmm. Dom, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's you never see, like, behind the scenes rest of the engineers. They're just constantly working and fixing the ship or improving it, and letting Shax allow the chief engineer, what's his name? The mustache, the Prince Billups. Thank you. It shows a softer side of Shax, allowing him to, like, just let it out there, buddy.
Yes.
I think that was really nice and sincere of him.
I love Shax.
Shax.
Yeah.
He's wonderful. And he's very much, you get the impression he's very much a big old teddy bear, except when he wants to blow things up. So, which actually, you know what, talking about Lower Decks doesn't necessarily always have that deep meaning. I think there's something to be said for the psychology of somebody who spent their lifetime, fighting fascism as a full-time job, and now is doing things like pottery and understanding that overwork is a problem, and
encouraging people to express themselves. And I love that part about Shax. He is
very Bajoran of him.
Yeah,
in touch with his spirituality, I think, and connection to others.
Yeah. He's just, I just love how complex he is, especially for a cartoon character. Like, I can totally see, had Shax shown up in a live action show, those tidbits that we're getting of him doing pottery and stuff like that, that's something that we might have seen, like, if another character walked into his room and like, he was, like, working on a vase or something.
Yeah.
And we would get an entire episode of him, like, having flashbacks and, like, coping with these new I don't know, with these hobbies. But instead, because it's a cartoon, we kind of get it peppered in all over the place, which is still just as good. But it's just kind of like I like to like see, I like to think about with Lower Decks, like how would they have presented this character in a live action setting with the same tone that we get, in like DS9 or Voyager. And Shax is one of those characters that I've thought about a lot as far as that's concerned.
I was going to say, with Shax, too, another thing that's kind of thrown in there is the fact that since he died and he came back, and no one knows how that happened, I think to a degree, he may be having an emotional crisis. Because, he brings up the fact that nobody wants to talk, or at least with the people that he's close with, no one wants to bring that up. And so I think he's trying to, instead of just being this Bajoran berserker, he's actually realized that there are other things than just conflict, and maybe he's trying to work through his own by helping everybody else.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and look at season 1. Was he just Bajoran berserker in season 1?
He kind of was,
before
because
he died.
When they did the holodeck thing, and he was like, "Get away from me, I'm mad." He is really he's quite standoffish in the first one, unless it's something to do with security or fighting, and you don't get much beyond that with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the pottery thing was season 2. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't thought about Shax being that deep. And also, you just reminded me, of course, we've seen a Bajoran who was an ex-resistance fighter trying to do pottery.
Yes, we
when
have.
Kira was shoved into her Dejara. Yeah, that was supposed to be an artist. I wonder if that is an intentional connection on there. How could it not be? I'm sure
probably.
it is.
Probably, but like...
I hadn't even thought about that.
But like, I also... If we take it that way, like... Shax is kind of a marriage of I don't know, I guess his Dejara and what he wanted to actually do with his life. Maybe not. Maybe that's not his Dejara at all. I have no idea.
Yeah, we don't know. But yeah, it's actually, he is maybe more what's the word I'm looking for? He's maybe dealt with having to be resistance in the occupation and all of that better than Kira did. When we saw her at the beginning. Of course, it's been a long time, so because we saw her right at the very beginning of it.
Yeah, and I think that like she grew up in it. Shax is well, I don't know their age difference. I don't know how many years are between DS9, like the end of DS9 and
this Lower Decks started a year after Nemesis. So that would be like probably 5 or 6 years after.
Okay, so Shax has got like probably
after
like
DS9.
10, 15 years on Nerys.
Yeah, he's definitely, I mean, he would have grown up in it because they were occupied for 60 years.
Yeah.
50 or 60, yeah. So, but then again, and he's got gray hair and he looks grizzled, but he also was in the Resistance, so for all we know, he's like 35. That kind of thing does that to you.
He needs to go to the Dove, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd be in there with that Klingon.
Yeah. The Engineers Retreat. Really quick. I wanted to mention, I loved that Rutherford was bringing tech manuals with him. A reference to O'Brien bringing tech manuals with him when he and Keiko attempted to go on vacation. And that kind of like right out the gate, we see what he does for fun. And then it's not relaxing by any usual means. So, it's just like we've got that perspective, and then they keep trying to force mani-pedis down all the engineers' throats. So.
That's an interesting image there. You're trying to eat a foot. I don't know. And it harkens back to Scotty too.
Yeah.
Because he was never relaxed. There's just that or I should say, not that he was never relaxed, but he didn't get away from the engineering. The engineering was what relaxed him.
Yeah.
And I get that. Yeah. Jay and I get that. We used to, even when we worked at the bookstore, we would go on vacation and we'd go find a bookstore to sit in.
Yes.
Probably because we could never just sit at the bookstore that we worked at.
But it was a two-sided blade because we were so comfortable being in the bookstore that when we're on vacation, people are asking us where stuff was. I'm like, I don't work here. I don't work here.
Well.
Yeah.
At my
Meanwhile,
store.
you're organizing the shelves.
Yep.
This isn't alphabetized.
Yeah.
Anyway. So they are way overworked. Also, I kind of feel like it's okay to be overworked when your starship just got turned into a Mesoamerican style temple, but that's okay. But yeah, so Freeman gives them a mandatory vacation, and then she goes with them. That kind of was weird. I didn't. Yeah.
I think
didn't
that goes
like
back
that.
to the projection, though, that she had, on the engineers. She was truly the stressed one. And making it everyone else's issue.
Who's the real mask?
Yeah.
That was dumb.
No, it wasn't.
Deep thoughts.
No, I get what you're saying. I feel like if they had gone without Freeman, the Dove probably had like a tinkering room that would have allowed them to relax the way the Klingons. But also, I'm sure Freeman would have been like, no, they can't do that, because they were so happy making the sand schematic.
Yes.
You know,
I knew when I first saw that scene, I was like, they're drawing out a circuit board. They have to be.
yes, yes.
Because that's just what what they're doing for fun. And yeah, I like that we got a few more I don't know, tertiary characters in there, like just folks.
Yeah.
I can't remember their names, but even outside of the Delta shifters, a couple of the engineers who were just like tinkering with things and like talking about the cucumbers and
Yes.
Yeah, and before
getting the massage and having the tinker underneath.
Yeah.
and before
What?
they even, they're literally getting into the Dove, and the first thing they do, the entire group of engineers stops, and then they work on the door, and they're like, we're fixing the door, because they're used to doing that for everybody. They want to make sure things function, because that's what, makes them perhaps have a bit more self-worth, that they can make things function smoother for everybody else. And it was really funny watching that, because it was like, I've done that where, again, talking about vacation, going into a store or whatever and start straightening things. I'm like, you don't work here, dude. Just stop. Just go past. Enjoy yourself. You don't have to. This is not your responsibility.
They don't work for a living, right? To feed themselves or to house themselves. They work because they truly love the engineering aspect of it, and if that's what it takes to, calm them down, although it's working them physically hard, mentally they're probably fine.
It's their natural
And
state.
happy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the issue there was what they were doing, what they were having to do, and probably the time constraints of fixing it after the artifact changed things, as opposed to what they were actually doing. Like the work wasn't the issue; it was the timing, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The time crunch and the intensity of the work. Removing like sacrificial altars and everything, it really takes a toll on an engineer.
Yeah. Yeah. As opposed to like, oh, I have to fix this thing.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The sacrificial altars and the stone and everything is not their usual area.
Right,
So
yeah.
That's the issue, yeah.
It was a challenge, but they're engineers. They love challenges. Anyways.
Jay, you made me think of Hemmer. The purpose is to fix that which is broken. And, yeah, that works. And it also made me think of O'Brien.
Yes.
I forget who was he. Oh, he was talking to Worf, right? And saying how bored he was in the transporter room all the time.
Yeah, because if there's...
And he didn't feel like he was doing anything.
Yeah, if there wasn't something that needed to be fixed, it it didn't work for him. And going away from, the Cerritos for a second, but talking about O'Brien, I think to a degree it was frustrating, but he probably loved being on Deep Space Nine because everything was so ramshackle. You were constantly working to fix things like that. But the problem was like with Keiko, her life paused while he's doing this whole thing, and there was almost kind of no connection. And that relationship, I think, mirrored a little bit with the engineers and Captain Freeman, because she was trying to get them to relax, and then they were stressing out because they were trying to figure out ways to make her relaxed, and it was just actually this self-destructive cycle that just kept going over and over again, because they worked as a team in order to figure out to put the cucumbers underneath the wristbands to get them to turn green.
Yep.
And then she totally freaks out.
I like that. And not even the puppies are enough.
Yeah, also there was
Not
a puppy
even
with a
puppies.
wheelchair. A wheelchair puppy?
Yeah.
Which reminded me of, why didn't they just, help the puppy regenerate, whatever?
Is
it cuter?
Representation.
Is it? Okay. All right.
No, I know. I thought about that too, because I'm like, just like within the context of the show, shouldn't they be able to just I don't know, clone new puppy legs or whatever? I mean, I feel like that's an easy fix compared to all the medical miracles that we've seen in the 24th century.
Right? And there was the guy, the Bajoran, who lost his arm defending his friends in the Resistance. Kira's buddy, I can't remember his name, and he said the prophets took my arm.
That wasn't Shakar.
Same group though.
I don't remember. Yeah.
But speaking,
Well,
go ahead.
Nog too.
Ugh.
I mean,
Yes.
So I think that it's going to sound strange, maybe, but I do think that was genuinely meant to be representation.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
For disabled people, but also, I mean, there are people who have pets that are injured like that,
And they're just as cute, if not cuter. That's on us, yeah. No, it doesn't.
that's just his life.
Really quick, go back to what Jason said about O'Brien. I can't remember if he actually said this, but I feel like O'Brien said something like, "This station needs me."
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like he did say that. So again, the engineer's sense of self-worth is all in the efficiency of the systems they're working on, and the bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward, because they can figure it out. It's they can. But
even a 0.5% efficiency boost
it's still more efficient.
in the sand.
is efficient
It's still more efficient. Yeah.
and worth their time, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And that's
Definitely.
a big part of it. It's just, they're not always just doing it for themselves either. It's everyone that they work with that they're trying to make things easier for.
Yeah. There's a sense of pride in that, for sure.
Although I do feel like it's important to note that it was Dr. Ta'ana who said that the engineers needed a break first.
Yes.
So it was I don't know, it was Freeman's decision to go to Dove, but it was Ta'ana who diagnosed them with stress.
Yes. Okay, I can't remember what the phrase was, but that's all right.
Yeah.
But that makes sense, because Freeman would not have necessarily recognized that in them. Whereas the doctor would take one look at that and go, "Oh no, I
Diane.
don't want to be treating heart attacks later."
Yeah. Diane.
Do
Yeah.
we think that's her actual name?
I think it is.
Okay.
It could be a pet name.
There's
a few layers there because she's a cat.
I think her name is
the huntress.
Diane Ta'ana.
Yeah. I don't know. It's again, I was seeing chatter about either way of that. It's kind of, as a pet name, it's not exactly. It's a name.
Yeah.
So I don't know. All right, well, since we brought up Dr. Tana and we were talking about shacks, that's an interesting way to relax.
During a bonk heist?
Shooting up a bonk. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and with the safety off, actually. Quite,
yeah.
I don't think we've seen at least in my memory, a time where they have actively shut off the safety from the holodeck. Maybe Worf.
There was one Voyager where B'Elanna was dealing with some.
It was after they found out what happened to the Maquis.
Yeah.
That the Dominion wiped him out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Still Klingon.
Yeah, that's
Klingon.
true.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall any other time. There probably is, and everybody's saying it at their phones right now, but of another time when that happened. But
start drafting your Facebook comments.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting though that immediately stopped Shaq short. You know, he's like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to do safeties off. That's not a good idea. You're obviously bothered by something, so we'll talk.
Yeah.
You know.
I got the feeling that he was bothered by something.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
He did flat out say, I mean, I died. We never talked about that. So making it, I mean, having a deep conversation with your significant other. If it takes crime play to get there, I guess. But it's important that they were recognizing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's and Tendi actually also states that I can't remember the exact quote that she used, but she knows that they're making progress.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is really sweet.
Yeah.
It is.
I love how everybody's just so accepting of everyone else's different methods of coping and working things out.
Mm-hmm.
And like as long as it's not hurting anyone else, which I guess safety protocols off would be potentially hurting someone else, but as long as it's not hurting someone else, it's like totally fine. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to skip too far ahead, but
no, that's all right.
T'Ana
we do that.
Lost her tail.
Yeah.
Did you hear on what ship?
I did, and now I didn't write it down, I forgot.
It was the USS Algonquin.
Algonquin, okay.
Yeah, and I looked it up. It's a Canada-class ship that...
okay.
Oh, crap. I forget her name. Nurse Chapel was named Chief Medical Officer of in one of the original series novels.
Wow, they go deep on that.
Right? Yeah. And I was like, is this a reference to something else? Like, did a USS Algonquin, like, in real life, like, have a cat on it or something? Or, like, I'm so curious what else is to that story. Like, what inspired the authors to do that specifically.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I hope we get
I don't think I've heard of a Canada-class ship before.
I don't know.
Well, if it was only in the novels, then that's probably...
I also love that, like, a Canada-class ship, one of them is named after an indigenous...
Native tribes?
Native tribe, yeah.
Yeah, indigenous, yeah. First Nations. What they say in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, Star Trek never shied away from being like, money is pointless in the future. But, Mariner walking in there and going, "Hi, let me exchange this for some pieces of paper that have no inherent value," just made me happy.
It was hilarious. I loved that.
And I think too, it was a nice way to show how Diane and Shax relax, because their whole thing is protecting other people, whether it's physically or medically. And when they go in and they're the bank robbers, they are the exact opposite of what they are in real life. Mm-hmm. And so to be able to, to go through and just be as a self-centric, so to speak, instead of looking out for everybody else. This is a chance for them to kind of blow off steam. And going into that holodeck program, again, when Shax is talking about, I died, we never talked about this, and she kind of she dances around the subject of...
She tries to distract him with sex.
Yeah, and and he even tells her, he's like, no, we need to talk about this. It's just interesting because, again, there's the professional side of them versus, their private, personal side. And it was interesting that, Boimler and everybody else is in there, and then, like, we don't want to hear any of this, and Tenny's like, no, I gotta hear this. I gotta see what happens.
Well, I imagine she's been interested in that story since she met Talana, because that's how Tendi is.
She genuinely cares about her superior and her superior's happiness.
Yeah, yeah. And I think sometimes Talana doesn't know what to do with that, but that's a whole other thing. All right, well, before we get into everything that was on the Cerritos, I just want to finish up talking about the engineers' retreat. Yeah. They recreated the cellular relaxation and entertainment chamber, essentially, I think. I think that was what we were supposed to understand, which I thought was fun.
Successfully, too.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it was still kind of snake oil in the S9. Mm-hmm. But they actually made it, and Taz, the person on the Dove, was like, we have to get rid of this.
This is going to make us so that we're not important or not useful anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna lose all our Federation funding.
Yeah, same as the one that had all the drills.
Yes,
made them all fail the drills. So sometimes you got to look out for your own job, I guess.
Yeah.
Even in the future.
Yeah.
In a world without profit, though, or at least, on the Federation side, we're not talking Ferengi right now, everyone. The idea of wanting to better, I mean, it's still a silly show, right? It's so they're gonna take liberties with it, but the idea of wanting to better every starship with one of these devices, I think, would have been accepted across the Federation, but for them to go the opposite way, it was interesting to see that.
Yeah, I imagine Cerritos will have one of those, but nobody else will know about it.
Right.
Or they'll tell people, themselves. But it's the same with the holodecks. I mean, if we can retcon the holodecks into the 23rd century, and we see Captain Draco Malfoy's dad. What's Lorca?
Lorca,
yeah.
We see Lorca and Ash Tyler using it for training, but it doesn't seem like there's an idea of using it for relaxing yet at that point. So there's that shift with the holodeck. Anyway, I thought that was a fun thing. I really resonated with what the engineers were going through because I have a very difficult time relaxing, and so I get it. I totally get it. I don't know. You guys have trouble relaxing with that kind of thing?
I think we go the Bonnie and Clyde route. We play characters in a video game that we may not necessarily be able to do in real life.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. You guys play WoW. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that works. Jay, I won't speak for you, but I know you've similar. You have Project Zomboid.
Yes, I have Project Zomboid.
Yeah.
Where, just try to survive in a zombie apocalypse. Mostly not fighting zombies, but building things instead. Instead of actually going through the, main point of the game.
There you go. All right, so, while the engineers are trying to relax, and actually we're relaxing, on the Cerritos we have a raffle for the new quarters. That was kind of strange to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like, is that typical? Have we seen that in the past?
No.
Okay.
No. The one thing we have seen, and amusingly enough, it was on the TNG episode called Lower Decks, was that the Lower Decks crew have to, at least they were doubled up. And getting, the one guy getting promoted meant he was going to be able to get his own quarters. Which I always found disturbing in that episode, because I'm like, that ship can carry an extra, 5,000 people if they need to. Are you telling me there's not empty quarters for the ensigns?
Right.
That's maybe a military discipline thing?
There might be barracks, and then there's civilian accommodations. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, we did see, a dorm setup in Star Trek 6, actually, for a moment. So, yeah. Anyway, Jay?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's usually how it works, though, in military warships, is the fact that it's generally only officers who get their own quarters, and the rest of it is a kind of a barrack style where you're rotating between shifts. Everybody's basically sleeping in the same bunk, so you're just rotating out. While you're awake, somebody else is sleeping. When it's their duty shift, you go in and you sleep instead. And it's just, again, a lot of it boils down because of the size of the ships. Where the Galaxy class, yes, can hold 5,000, a Cerritos is something that's infinitely smaller.
Yeah.
So they have, it doesn't sound like it's this huge crew, but, space is a premium. So.
Bah.
Rutherford also mentioned earlier, or right around that time when he was packing his bag to go to the Dove, that the Cerritos was actually, it had too many crew for that size class. So the fact that they're doing the lottery was interesting.
I think it was to make it fair for everybody.
Right.
Yeah. I do think it's funny that it didn't occur to them to share the one quarters.
Yes.
But, that's all right. At least you're used to sleeping in the hallway. All right, so they have to figure out how to get over to the computers because Tendi finds out that the Delta Shift, was going to manipulate the program. So we explore the bowels of the Cerritos, trying to get to that computer system. And we see a swamp.
Mm-hmm. Underneath the hydroponics bay.
Underneath the hydroponics bay, which on first watch I thought was left over from the Minuki incident.
I did too.
But then it turns out it's not. Because, did you see the dead Doppler in the background?
Yes!
Only on the second watch we saw it.
Yes, and that was one of those moments where I had to pause it and I said, hold up, that looks familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a single Doppler.
Or there's more behind all the whatever it is.
Yeah.
And again, they are referencing their own episodes again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah, but it also it kind of makes sense because not all plants would thrive in that environment. In the environment that an aeroponics bay or hydroponics bay or
both.
What did Keiko have? The arboretum.
Yeah.
So they have to have a different environment for others.
Yeah. And then we see actually that's under the arboretum.
Yeah.
And the other big place we end up is the deflector room.
Yeah.
I love seeing all the extra parts of the ship that we don't normally get to see. I think that's so neat. And maybe we did see the deflector room in Enterprise.
So I don't know if it was the deflector room, but it was. There was an episode where they went to a part of the ship that was low grav, and I don't know if that was with the deflector, but I think it was.
I don't know if they ever said where it was on this ship.
Didn't Florida Man jump around in it?
Florida Man.
I forget his
Florida
name.
Man jumped around at Mayweather. Mayweather called it the sweet spot, and he said that every ship has one. But I don't know if we ever learned where it was. And yes, I believe Florida Man bounced around in it.
I think
once
so.
Mayweather showed it to him. Florida Man.
Oh,
we do see though. Sorry, go ahead.
Mayweather. Did Mayweather? Something about anti-grav and him growing up on the moon.
Oh, he grew up on a freighter.
Or on a freighter. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got my own headcanon. Anyways.
No, that's all right.
Before we get
boomer.
to the deflector room too, we saw a little bit of Mariner that we haven't seen. She was a little exposed there when she was hallucinating.
Oh yeah, I
she was
skipped
in her
over the
egg.
hallucinating. Sorry.
And they hallucinate, and she thinks she's in an egg, and she's really comfortable, and she doesn't want to be hatched out of the egg. And Tendi breaks her out of the egg, and why are you being so mean? She says, but she was really kind of exposed in that moment. A very vulnerable, in a very vulnerable way, unlike what we're used to seeing with Mariner, and I thought that was really neat. We actually see not just Mariner, but also Boimler in the deflector room, just kind of letting loose and being themselves and allowing your friend to do that. And I thought that was neat that they recognized it and it just mentioned it. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I skipped right past the hallucinating because that was just because I did. But that was fun.
There was little sprinkles as they were hallucinating of like music notes. But if you look closely, there's little starships floating along with the music notes. Yeah, I saw little Cerritos. That. Yeah, if you go back, you'll see little Cerritos flying around.
I will do that.
I feel like that being in an egg, like hallucinating that you're in an egg, is a reference to something too. But
or just like going back to a natural state.
Google is like leaving suggestions for like garlic hallucination and cinnamon hallucinations and all sorts of fun stuff. I'm Googling where that's been referenced before and can't find it. But my algorithm has been forever impacted by that Google search.
I was going to say, be careful with that. Garlic and cinnamon hallucinations. I feel like, that's something.
That might just be a natural state for us as Italians.
This is true. The fact that we put garlic in everything is caused by a hallucination that says that we must put garlic in everything. Yeah. I don't know if that was a reference to anything, but I think it is, like Dom was saying, it shows a vulnerability with her. And I think it's just like that whole thing of there's no responsibility in an egg.
Yeah.
And
we've
it's
been
warm,
getting that
as
more.
opposed to the cold of space.
Like with the episode, the previous episode, getting to see what she wanted, and it was the Andorian woman, and like just being exposed in that way. I really like that we're seeing all this, getting all this character development with her.
Me too. And this was something I know people were concerned about, if there would be good character development on this, and I think no question there is.
Oh yeah.
There is. Okay, so then they're in the deflector room. They get out of the deflector room after almost dying. And then they end up in the equivalent of the Star Wars garbage chute, kind of. They go down the little slide, and they're stuck in there with the Delta Shift people, and they talk, and Delta Shift did them dirty.
Yes, they did.
I like that the Delta Shift characters are like mirror replicas, though, of the people that we know, the ones that we, the lower decks ones that we know, even down to the science officer, being a red alien.
They all had almost the same hair,
right?
But I tell you, I didn't notice that until I was looking for an image for this episode, and the one I pulled, as listeners will have seen, is the one with all 6 of them sitting there, and I was like, oh, it's a mirror.
Yep,
that's perfect. It reminded me of Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
Oh, when they meet up with the
with the other group. Like,
that's right. Hello. And they all say hello to each other as they're passing by.
I guess that is kind of like that's kind of a trope in Star Trek, though, and like you're trying to see the similarities between even like cultures or just other ships. It's kind of also similar to the Lower Decks episode where we see the lower decks of the Vulcan ship and the Klingon ship. Like they're just basically the same folks, and they have a lot that they can all relate to. It's just different costumes.
Yeah. That's, as I always say in my classes, humans are going to human. Because the motivations, whether you're looking at ancient Greece or ancient Rome or now or ahead to Star Trek, humans are going to human. And I can shift that to humanoids are going to humanoid.
Humanoids
maybe?
are going to humanoid, yeah.
But yeah.
I really like how they were discussing how when they got the room, if they won, what they would say to let people in, and then they always reflect back to like TNG or original series people. Like, these people are just famous among Starfleet, not just of the fans, of course, but internal in Starfleet. Like, everyone knows who Riker is.
Yeah,
and he says "come." So yeah, I thought that was very funny that they always use those people as reference. I think as like a bookmark, I guess, for fans, just to. But anyway.
Freeman did the same thing.
Yeah.
Captain Freeman did the same thing when she said, "All engineers are goddamn Geordie LaForges."
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess if you're on the flagship and your exploits are out there through the Federation News Network, it's something to know.
Yeah. I think I saw a post on, I want to say, the Daystrom Institute subreddit, asking like, is the bridge staff of the flagship, are they just like celebrities in Starfleet?
Yeah.
Does everyone know everything that happened? Like, I guess I have that same question about DS9, because guaranteed that was not the case at the beginning of DS9, but by the end,
Yeah.
like even when the wormhole opened up in the first episode,
Yes.
like at that point, those folks probably became celebrities in Starfleet and in the Federation, maybe.
Yeah. Well, a little bit. I can. The first thing that comes to mind with that, for me, is Schwarzkopf, who was in charge of the first Iraq War, or he was in charge of part of it, but that became a very well-known name, and of course that was before you were paying attention to things in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, or like Eisenhower. I mean, people knew who Eisenhower was. That he rode that into the presidency because of his how people knew him from the war. Jay can probably give much better examples. So the thing about Starfleet celebrities, the Lower Decks mobile game started this week, and it's goofy, it's fun. Okay, I've gotten sucked into it unreasonably so. But there's little sub-stories to it, and the sub-story for this weekend is that they have to go to a Starfleet convention. And it's basically a Star Trek convention. And they're all excited about seeing, so-and-so is going to be there and such. And our Cerritos crew dresses up in motion picture uniforms.
Oh my god!
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that so
Yeah.
much. I really hope they bring it into the show.
Yes. Oh, that would be so much fun.
Wow.
Oh, well, we might see that on Strange New Worlds. We still have no idea what they're going to do with this live action thing
Oh yeah.
on Strange New Worlds. So, I mean, it wouldn't be those uniforms, but yeah, I tweeted out there was a still of the storyline going, and it was Mariner in the motion picture uniform, and she was saying, "I guess this is fun. My dad went to a con in Chicago in 22, and he liked it." It was just like, oh, nice. Beautifully all put together.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Although that's probably something that might get just reserved for the Android game or for the mobile game, because that's a little bit I don't know, is that a little bit too niche
Maybe.
for the show like that? I don't know.
Maybe.
That might alienate.
Oh, I don't think, because if you just look at it and you go, oh, okay, so her father went to a convention about Starfleet in 23, 22. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes her father pretty old, but that's a whole other issue. Unless he was a baby when he was there.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that I forgot to say with your Star Trek story, you went to 2 conventions as a baby.
Yeah.
Or 1 convention as a baby, yeah.
Yeah, and no one got me. No one signed me.
No.
Much to my chagrin, and I could have gotten that tattooed over, and like I could have John Delancey's signature tattooed on my face right now. But
well, I'm glad you didn't have that. That's a little more unusual than like a Chakotay tattoo. But no, we literally didn't think of that. I remember you were talking about that once, not that long ago, and you're like, "Why didn't you have somebody sign me?" And I'm like, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, for the record, Dom, if we have a child and we take it to a Star Trek convention,
he will be dressed as a Borg, or she, of course.
They will be dressed as a Borg, and they're gonna have signatures all over them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The Borg baby.
I like it.
I can strap him to my chest like Boimler did when he was saving the Borg in that simulation.
Oh my god. Okay, I might have to hold you to that, because I want to see that. But you have to get a lot of dolls then, too.
And you got to get a purple wig.
Multiple.
Right.
Yeah. Right, so I think we've... okay, so then at the end of the episode, they're in the bar, and we find out that Delta Shift got their quarters, that they're going to turn into a party room. And
Ransom actually does refresh Chur Olivia. I have a feeling that we're going to see Chur Olivia in a future episode.
Chur Olivia.
Yeah.
God, I forgot about that too, because it was just so weird.
I love churros.
Well, yeah, but not like that.
No, not like that. Not like that. But
no one should love churros like that. But yeah, that does. Ransom has a creep factor that I think they're playing it up. I think it's intentional, but every once in a while it's just like, oh, no, really? Do you have to do that? Did we have to go there?
35 churros?
Yeah. In an unmarked bag. Does he not have a replicator in his quarters?
Right.
I guess not. Maybe that's the Cerritos,
the engineers. Maybe
the
engineers were. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Okay, so when they were like exploring the bowels of the ship, I was like, how many more problems are they causing for the engineers by just going around all these like random things that are, as far as they're concerned, not even on a map? Like, some of those hatches were just like not on maps. Like, yeah. So the engineers will be coming back to a bunch of work, thanks to the lower deckers who tried to take a shortcut through the bowels of the ship. Yeah.
Hopefully not. I think the only thing that might be just water from the Arboretum
probably
got into that one spot.
Yeah.
But,
hopefully.
Yeah.
At one point during that adventure, during that shortcut, Boimler also references DS9's Fortune Favors the Bold.
Yes.
Which I was like, oh, I know that from somewhere, and it's from DS9, and I can't remember where, and I looked it up and gave myself a pat on the back.
It's an episode title.
Yeah.
Let me, I don't often get to do a Chrissy's History Corner for Lower Decks, but that actually comes from Pliny the Younger in his description of his uncle going to rescue people from Vesuvius. Supposedly, well, the way Pliny tells it is that his uncle got on the ship, and the ship captain was like, "Well, I don't know if I want to go," and Pliny the Elder says, "Fortune favors the bold," and go sail toward where he was rescuing his friend Pompeianus. So his fortune favors the bold. Sail to where Pompeianus is. So
did Pliny save him?
I don't. The narrative goes away after that. Pliny the Elder does end up with some of his friends, and it may very well be Pompeianus's house. And they stay in the house until they can't, until they're afraid of the ash and cinders coming down and like enclosing them in the house. And then they go out onto the beach, and as the story goes, with pillows tied to their heads with napkins to protect them. And it's kind of a funny, like, to imagine that. And they get out on the beach, and there's a bit of a explosion isn't the right word. The volcano gives off some sulfur and it ends up killing Pliny the Elder. Yeah. So he sat down they sat down on blankets on the beach to, I guess, wait to be rescued or whatever, and he kind of just went like he'd fallen asleep, but he'd actually been poisoned by the volcano.
And then they became statues,
Sulfur.
forever hanging out on the beach.
Something like that. I have that one is stuck in my head because I always read it to my students when we talk about that. So the whole thing about with napkins tied, with pillows tied onto their heads as napkins. So
Do you think that's where they got it for the in the Cold War? Hide
Probably.
under your desks.
Yeah,
With a blanket over your head.
with a pillow tied over your head
Have some-
because
That'll save you.
Cover
works against
yourself
the
in
volcano.
kindling.
yeah. Anyway, so I think we got it covered. Anything else we want to talk about with the episode?
Ended up just how did they get so confused about the raffle being 4 rooms on deck 1 versus 1 room on deck 4? How did that happen?
Oh, that's sitcom-y.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it's a, the mistake that drives the plot, sitcom style.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
So the name of the episode was Room for Growth.
Mm-hmm.
I guess everybody kind of grew in their own way.
I think the room might be referencing the lottery room.
The lottery room? Okay.
Oh, maybe.
Or maybe the room that they were all hanging out in, that the lower deckers were hanging out in together.
Yep.
Or...
And learning about how one can relax, even if it looks like work.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always room for growth and understanding other people. Oh.
Oh, you mean
That's a
the
good
general
takeaway.
message of Star Trek?
Right, yeah.
Just understanding and accepting other people?
Yeah.
There was also the Arboretum, which is a room specifically for growth.
True.
So-
Oh.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And now we're a little on the nose.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Anything else?
What was the outline in the relaxation machine? It didn't look like anything. I couldn't figure out.
It looked like a high heel.
Yeah.
Yes, it looked like a shoe.
Yeah.
It looked like someone was supposed to be in it in a fetal position,
Maybe.
which may have been intentional.
It's an egg.
No.
Except it wasn't shaped like an egg. That made more sense.
You're right.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was strange too because it wasn't human shaped.
Yeah.
But I don't know. All right. Did we have any canon connections that we didn't talk about? I think we hit all of them. I don't think there's anything else referenced that. Yeah.
Oh. Sorry,
Yeah.
totally forgot about this. But from the
No, that's all right.
the holodeck scene, because of the limitations of live action film and the limitations of the 90s VFX. We got to see Boimler, like, a bullet stopped right in front of his head.
Yes.
And he moved it, and it was still hot. Like, he burned himself on it. So I just appreciate that. I mean, we can get that now. But with the same, I don't know. Lower Decks feels like it's in my heart. It feels more like 90s Trek. So
that's intentional.
Getting to see that in a cartoon was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. I don't know if it was intended as a reference, but there is a similar moment in... It's not X-Men First Class. That might be First Class. When Quicksilver's running around the room, I think there's in a kitchen, and he stops and he moves the bullet, and I think he burns his finger. I can't remember if that part happens.
That was a superior Quicksilver to the other one.
Yes.
I've not seen WandaVision, and I know there's something in there, but...
Yeah.
Well, I did see one more canon connection, now that I think of it.
Yeah.
When they first show the Dove, okay, and they're showing the Cerritos near it, behind the Dove, on, I think it's the right-hand side, is a ship that looks very much like the Pastor, the Beverly ship from...
the medical, yeah. All good things.
Yeah, all good things. Sitting there, I was like,
Yeah.
interesting little reference there.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense that there would be a medical ship nearby, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Associated with it, yeah.
Yeah, just in
Yeah.
case there are any black bands.
Or actual injury done.
Yeah. But there, one thing too, they were getting ready to get together with the USS Carlsbad at the very beginning. So
Yeah.
I'm curious if that's what we're going to be doing, like, the next episode will deal with the Carlsbad. It's another California class.
Yeah, well, that was the one that was helping with
Oh, duh.
the
Okay.
things from last week.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. No, sorry. Couldn't think of what the mind minds thing. Good catch, Jay. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. All right. Well, final thoughts. I think we all maybe have given our final thoughts already, but anything else we want to add?
Lower decks. Lower decks.
Lower decks.
I love it.
Lower decks.
Decks.
All right. Well, okay, listeners, if you're still listening after this wonderfully wandering family conversation about Trek, I have to tell you, this is basically when we get together for dinner, what it sounds like.
Yep.
Yep. That's true.
It always
wandering around
goes
a
to
little
Star
more.
Trek.
So, if people would like to talk Star Trek with you online, Nickie, where can people find you?
I'm in the BQN Facebook group.
Okay.
I'm also on Instagram at Nickie Zebra.
You put some fun stuff on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dom, if people want to talk some Trek with you, where can they find you?
Same, I'm in the BQN network on Facebook, and you can usually find me sitting in front of my computer playing WoW.
Okay, and Jay, if people want to continue this conversation online, where can people find you?
Okay, you can find me on the network on Facebook, the BQN Facebook page. You can find me on Twitter at Jason Dark Elf. I also have an Instagram page, just Jason Szilagyi. And also History with the Szilagys, our twice a week podcast.
I was going to say. Yeah, your Instagram is full of your painting of miniatures, which are fantastic. Even if I am biased, they are fantastic.
They are. Check them out.
Thank you.
So, yes, listeners, in addition to here on Infinite Diversity, you can, of course, find me on History with the Szilagys, that twice-weekly short history podcast that Jay and I do. I'm also happy to chat about our shows in the BQN Collective on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter at The Goddess Livia, that's TAGGODDESSLIVIA, where I tweet about Star Trek history and leftist politics. And I'll tell you, there's been a lot of politics lately, but yeah.
Fighting fascism is a full-time job.
Fighting fascism is a full-time job. Yes, it is. And don't forget about all of our other great shows here on BQN Podcasts, like Galaxy Class, All Good Things, Mickey's Marvels, Union Federation, and exclusively for our Patreon members, there's It's Green with Mark White and Amy's Math Moment.
Previously on BQN. All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast.
They're feeling bad and they try to self-medicate to feel better, and that's why mental health, for example, is so important to help people cope with things so they don't turn to drugs to cope on their own. Mm-hmm. There's my Nancy Reagan moment.
There you go. See, we were raised in the DARE program.
Yeah.
Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast.
I love that Pike cooks with cast iron because I truly could not imagine him using any other kind of pans.
I didn't even notice that.
It's just that's
That
a
it was
very
cast iron.
in-character thing for him to cook on, like, this, seasoned cast iron. It's probably like 300 years old, and I'm sure, yeah.
Galaxy Class, a Star Trek The Next Generation podcast.
The biggest reason, of course, being that, Worf is undiscompensated. So his, obviously, redemption.
How would we say that?
Commendated?
Or commendated, yeah. If he was discommendated, then decommendated.
Accommodated?
I accommodated.
Accommodated.
There we go.
You will find these and more of your favorite podcasts on BQN.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Tony Robinson for the awesome show art. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player, and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
And if you'd like to reach out, you can find the network on Twitter at BQN Podcasts or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of the BQN podcasts in the aforementioned Facebook group, the BQN Collective. Next week, we'll be talking about the next episode of Lower Decks, Reflections. Until then, we bid you peace and long life. And Lower Decks.
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 Lower
Thank
decks.
you. Thank you. All right.
Don't forget to relax.
Yeah, you play Project Zomboid like it's Stardew Valley with zombies.
Yes.
Not that I want to derail us too much, but if that's what you're into,
No, that's all right.
highly recommend Banished. It's just it's a work manager survival simulator where you start out with like some villagers and you can turn natural disasters on and
Sim City.
see how long you can survive. And the modding community for it is really incredible. And if you're into that type of thing, you can just lose I don't know, like 12 hours or something to it. But you will have 30 generations of villagers who are grateful to you.
All right.
Anyway,
shout out to what was the name of it again?
Banished.
All right. Well, there we go. Listeners, if you like cozy games that also involve disasters, Banished.
With the ability to turn the safety protocols off.